Hello everyone. I'm sorry for the lack of videos over the past month. I want to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. This video has been something I've wanted to do for the past month or two. Well, maybe just about a month, because that's when I last uploaded. But I want to talk about the state of the Walking Dead TV show. And is the franchise really dead? Well, I'm going to answer that right now. The Walking Dead franchise as a whole is not dead. The comic book is as popular and is doing as good as it's ever been. Yeah, there's the few people that, don't like where the comic is right now, but they are the minority in this situation. Fear the Walking Dead, it's kind of divisive at the moment now, probably. There's some people that are liking the way the show is going, some people are not liking the way the show is going, but alright, the final season of the Walking Dead game is highly anticipated. The franchise itself, I think, is good. The TV show, the main TV show, on the other hand, I want to get into what this title is going to be called. The title of this video is The Walking Dead Deserved Better. And this is not an over-exaggeration, it did deserve better. Let's rewind back to 2003, right? It's been 15 years since the comic book started, and The Walking Dead has a very humble beginning. It started off as an independent comic and, became this huge juggernaut franchise it is now. And the TV show was not given the proper respect it deserved. When the show started back in 2010, Frank Darabont, he saw potential in this show. He saw this comic that dealt with the zombie apocalypse in a very unique way. It wasn't about the zombies killing people in really cool and vicious ways. It was about the characters and how this world changes you. Sorry if me drinking that was very loud for anyone. Anyway, yeah. So Frank Darabont, he did the first season. The first season of The Walking Dead was a huge success. And then came season 2. Now, people like to say that The Walking Dead only recently started to go to shit. And I think What Culture, they actually, they said this, and they were right when they said that The Walking Dead, I think it was What Culture I said it, but they said The Walking Dead has always had problems. Season 1 may have been, for many, a brilliant season. But even look at what people say about season 1. One of the biggest Walking Dead YouTubers out there, Make Pat Presents, he doesn't like the Vato storyline. He doesn't like the CDC storyline. So that's basically half the season is storyline he did not like. A lot of people do not like the CDC storyline. He's not alone in that. Hell, Robert Kirkman, I think himself, doesn't even like that storyline. Me personally, I like the Vatos and the CDC stuff. I thought it was actually pretty cool. But season 1 wasn't completely perfect. Season 2, I think, is a season where, when people look back on it, it's probably gained a cult following since it first aired back in 2011 to 2012. And people look at this season and they're like, it's not as bad as we remember it. because the show just got worse as it went along. Season 2 I consider a very good season. It's probably my second favourite season of The Walking Dead, maybe. I'm not too sure. Season 3 is actually my least favourite season of The Walking Dead. And I have my reasons for why it's my least favourite season. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think Season 3 is a great season. It's just my least favourite season. And you know, like, Season 3 was good for a lot of people because it picked up the pace. It was a lot more action oriented. It was a lot more faster pace. But even then, like, there were some things I did not agree with in that season. The handling of the character of Andrea, I thought, was completely wrong, especially for people that really love her character in the comics like I do. So then we had Season 4. The first season where Scott Gimple was the showrunner. Scott Gimple, the villain of the Walking Dead fan base, you know, for a lot of people. Scott Gimple is someone I've always defended. And he's someone I can't really defend as much anymore, because of where the show goes later on. Now, Season 4 is my favourite season of The Walking Dead. It was slow for a lot of people, but in my opinion, Season 4 was the best season. There was a lot I loved about it. And this video isn't about my thoughts on each season, and I have spent a good amount of this video towards this, so I apologise, but this video is about The Walking Dead deserving better. Now, Season 2 is where it really started, because Frank Darabont wanted a decent budget for this season, and AMC, being the fucking cunts they are. Oh, and by the way, this video is going to have cursing, whatever. If you care about that shit, you might want to go off now, because I despise censorship. So anyway, AMC, the shitheads they are, wanted to basically give half the budget for a season that was more than twice as long as the first season, because they're cheap. Now you may say, how come shows like Breaking Bad that were also on AMC, how come they stayed good throughout? Well, here's the thing, AMC did not own Breaking Bad. I think Sony is who owns Breaking Bad. You know, AMC just shows it on their channel. The Walking Dead is like the first show they have full ownership of. And that's really where the shit started for The Walking Dead. Other stuff like the mismanagement of certain characters. As a big Walking Dead comic fan, there's a lot of stuff that annoy me about The Walking Dead, and one is the oversaturation of Daryl. I think Daryl's a fine character. He's actually one of my favourite characters, but the fact that they've pushed characters like Tyrese and Abraham to the side really fucking pisses me off. And they're right now they're doing it with Jesus, showing they have not learned their fucking lessons. Another thing that really fucking pisses me off about this franchise is the cheap ways and the gimmicks they do for this show. Season 6's finale, which, you know, was a big turning point for the show. Not a good one. This is where the fans really started to lose their patience with this show. And it was with the cliffhanger. This is a moment comic fans and even non-comic fans that just heard about this shit from comic fans were really dreading and excited for this moment. The who's Negan going to kill? And they couldn't even show us who he kills. They had to make us wait till season 7. And you may say, well, hopefully they learned their lesson with that. No, they didn't. They did something like this again in season 8. And it was with Carl. Now, in episode 6 of season 8, Carl is bitten. And in episode 8, we see that he is bitten. He reveals his bite in episode 8. They couldn't even let him die in that episode. They had to make us wait for the mid-season break to see if Carl was actually going to die. And everyone knew, yeah, he's fucking dead. Like, he's bitten on the stomach. What the fuck are they going to do with him? He's going to die. And then all these stupid theories about a whisperer bit him, which makes no fucking sense. And I guarantee the people that came up with that theory are people that don't even read the comics, because whisperers don't fucking bite people. It was such a dumb theory. Is Carl immune? The Walking Dead, I think, has been pretty good in terms of realism for a zombie series. So a character that's immune is something they really shouldn't do. I mean, it works for stuff like Resident Evil and The Last of Us. But for The Walking Dead, I think The Walking Dead is trying to tell a different type of story than the immunity stuff. Plus, whenever a character's like immune in a zombie story, it kind of takes a lot of the tension away from that character as well, you could say. I mean, what if Carl was immune? What if Rick was immune? Then whenever they're in a situation with one or even multiple zombies, even if they get bit, they're going to be okay. I mean, granted, if there's a herd and they get torn apart, well, that's going to kill anyone, but it's just really stupid that they made us wait. And I guarantee they're going to do this shit with Rick. Now, we all know the rumours that Rick is leaving. We all know them. Chances are, at the earliest, they're going to reveal if Rick's going to die in episode 8, but they're going to make us wait till episode 9. If they make us wait, like if they drag out his death like they have done so many fucking times with other characters, other events, because the TV show really needs to fucking stop this shit. They need to stop the dragging out of plot lines with character deaths. I hope that's something that stops now that Angela Kang is the showrunner. And I guess we'll see with how they handle Rick in the new season. Now, there's a chance he might not die. So there is. But if he does, chances are they're going to drag it out. And the fact that the fan base has become so depressing lately. I remember when I first got into this franchise, people were excited about everything being announced. Now whenever The Walking Dead is brought up, so many people are just so negative about it. It's really depressing to see this franchise that I hold near and dear to my heart in this sort of way because of AMC's incompetence and their lack of decency. They had so much potential for this show and they shit all over it. Season 7 was a big misfire. It was very slow paced. It really dragged things out. And in season 8, which should have been a redemption from season 7, was basically on par with a lot of people. A lot of people hated season 8. And even though I've never really, like, to me, there's not a single bad episode of The Walking Dead, but I am sick of the shit they do pull. I've never watched an episode of The Walking Dead and said to myself, that was terrible or that was bad. But I am probably alone in that regard. And seeing this once great show stumble around and basically stay true to its name, the show has basically become a walking corpse at this point. And I think The Walking Dead should maybe end at season 10, not just because it's a good round number, but because, you know, there is still things you need to wrap up. And I think if season 9, I don't know if it's already been confirmed how many episodes season 9 has, but I'm guessing 16. And if season 10 has 16, that means they have 32 episodes to wrap the show up. And yeah, it's so bad that AMC got greedy on this, and to be honest, they deserve everything they're getting right now. Frank Darabont suing him, Robert Kirkman basically suing him as well, and all the shit they're getting now, they deserve every single fucking little bit of it. And I wouldn't trust them with another franchise. If you ever made, like, Invincible. Now, Invincible is a comic I have not read yet. It's something I kind of want to read because, you know, I like superheroes and I like Robert Kirkman's writing. Invincible is getting a animated series which I think is going to be on Amazon Prime. I could be wrong though, and it's getting a live action movie. If they were ever going to make a TV show on AMC, I would warn Robert Kirkman. Well, I think a lot of people would. Outcast thankfully wasn't put on AMC, it was put on is it Cinemax or something? I always fuck up that name. But yeah, AMC is not a TV company I would recommend with any properties like The Walking Dead. Anything that requires a big budget, do not fucking give them it. Like The Witcher TV show, that's going to be on Netflix. I mean, could you imagine if AMC got Game of Thrones? Could you imagine what the Battle of Blackwater, I think that's what the episode was called, could you imagine what that would have looked like? Could you imagine what Battle of the Bastards would have looked like on AMC's budget? It would have been fucking laughable. Yeah, so really there's only so many times I can say AMC fucked up. The Walking Dead deserved far better than what it got. Now, after all that, do I still love this show? Yeah, I still love The Walking Dead. It's still my favourite show. I've loved every episode, but there have been a ton I've disagreed with about this show. And about the way AMC handled it. And, yeah, I don't want to make this video go on any longer, so I'm just going to stop it here. Goodbye. And I hope you enjoyed this very messy video.